JD in the Duffle Bag podcast, right? Obviously, you know who it is. Chuckie Online. I'm with a goat. You know what I mean? Like, if you've been watching me, yeah, recording pods, whether it's here or anywhere else or whatnot, having conversations, especially when I talk about foundation stuff and whatever, and, you know, like a lot of stuff that I'm passionate about, you would have seen me talk about this goat a few times. I might have criticised the goat a couple of times and that as well. But you know what? At the end of the day, this guy is... I can't even believe this is the first time I'm meeting him. Dizzee Rascal, well, go on, my brother. What's going on? What's going on?
Let's talk about the criticism. Let's go.
I can't even remember. Do you know what? And
let's forget it then. Let's forget all that. Let's just talk about it. Let's forget it happened because you can't remember. You never met me.
Exactly.
So it's unfounded.
Right.
All right. So what was we talking about? Records.
We were talking about records. That's it. So when you came in the studio, there's like records and stuff around the walls. You might not be able to see them. Maybe we might be able to do a little outtake and you can see the records on the walls and stuff, yeah? As soon as Dizzee came in, straight away he said to Dan, yo, what was the question you asked him?
I asked him, what's the situation with the records? Like, why are these records? Like,
right.
Because I see one of them, the first one I looked at was like an inner city records over there, actually. Inner city.
Okay.
I was like, okay, because I'm thinking, see what I was talking about, this building's been... like they've been revamping it. So it's an old building. So I'm thinking, okay, did they use this studio back in the day or something? That's what's running through my head, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I never got the actual full story of what he said. I think he just picked the records.
He randomly picked them, yeah. But even then, which I was saying to you before, like obviously I still got all my. Have you still got yours?
Yeah.
Have you got all of them?
I've got most of them. So half of them, I've got DJ Target's tag on them. So all my jungle records. Yeah. A lot of them because they're ones I bought off Target when I was like 14. Yeah, and then if he just gave me a load. I guess when he stopped DJing jungle, he gave me.
Because you was a DJ obviously before, people might not know that.
Yeah,
so like, see, actually, even that, yeah. So see all your records that you got when you was young. Did you just get them from Target or like buy them from Matt? Like, was you like
different
trading?
different record shops as well?
Did you hit Black Market?
I don't know if I went to Black Market at that time. There was other ones about though. I remember there was one in Angel. At the end of Angel, Angel Market, someone will correct me. It's got a proper name in it. Over in North London, there used to be a record shop right at the other end, not the main road, like the other side. There was one there. I've probably got a few from Rhythm Division and a couple other places and that. And then sometimes you just buy them off other DJs who just have tunes in it, you know, like they'll do swaps and that.
Do you know, like obviously there's gonna be a lot of people that don't know like Black Market records and that, yeah. But like that was a legendary record shop, and obviously I was a proper youth, yeah. But like I just always, because like we didn't have social media them times there, so I didn't know what anyone looked like. Right. I used to just go outside the record shops here and just hope that one day I was gonna meet someone, like I was gonna meet a DJ or meet an MC or whatever, yeah. But like I possibly could have met like one of the DJs or the MCs could have walked past me, and I would not have known. Right. I would never have known. Because I didn't how was we to work out who was what and who? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Nah, you're right. That's how it's mad because it was the same for me. I used to listen to pirate radio hard. You didn't know what people look like. But luckily enough, obviously the main station that I thought Rinse, like they were around my area. So I saw G, I saw Wiley, I saw Target. Target first. Target was like my first point of call because he lived on the estate next to mine, but it was near enough my estate. So I can't remember how I found him, but I just used to just go to his house. I used to just go there and jam with him, buy records for him and all that. He proper took me under his wing from young still.
Yeah. We only ever knew what was like, and do you know what? That's like, not just with music though. I feel like that's like a lot of things in life. Like growing up, I only knew really what was in my area. Do you get what I'm saying? Even when you look at now, like people that might have been like disfortunate or whatever it may be, yeah. On my estate and in my area, we all pretty much saw the same thing. Maybe certain levels of it, you know what I'm saying? I'm reflecting a lot on that now. Like a couple of my brethren and that were really, really, really going through it. As a man that's a little bit older now, I'm looking at like some of the circumstances that people were living in. To me at the time, it was just normal. Like we just always in that same thing. Do you get what I'm saying? MCs, music-wise, I only knew what was in my area. Now, obviously, for a lot of kids and that, or for a lot of young bucks, like they're seeing a lot more of what is outside of their area, which gives them a lot more things to compare themselves to, whether it be music or even just live stuff. Do you get what I'm saying?
I see it with the drill stuff because I always compare it. Like, so my generation, we always looked up to America in a way. other than someone like myself who said I listen to pirate radio, listen to the Rinse, Cool, Deja and all that. I wanted to be like them.
Right.
As much as I wanted to be like Tupac or and all that as well.
Yeah.
But then with my generation, Dipset and that come along.
Right.
Dipset and Mobb Deep and all, and then with that, the Smack DVDs.
Yeah.
So then when that whole era come on, that's when guys got a more of a up to date. Was more up to date. We could see what they were. What they were doing. Yeah, I'm trying to be clear on my words, but it was just more up to date. So that's when guys were like, the swag was like, if you see, I had the big jacket with the badges and that on it. That was me because Santana had it. Yeah, I wore that at the Mercury Awards with the Air Forces and the shit. I did all of that. So yeah, we could see what they're up to. But then fast forward to like the drill generation.
Yeah,
like I spoke to Scribs and all that about this. It's like they could see what Chief Keef and that were doing, like, as it was happening.
Yeah.
So this and then the same with like the Gunners and all that. These boys, it's like now. So that's why everything's just way more connected. There's no, even with records back in the day, like DJs would go to America and bring back records and they'd be 2 months ahead or something like that. Nah, everything's just bang, just at the same time. That's why when there'll be guys that I remember when the Gunner mixtape, Gunner and Baby come out. It was already like almost number one in the charts here, and I hadn't even heard of them Too Tough yet.
Yeah, I hear that still.
But because this it's now, it's
there's
mode,
like, do you know what? It's mad, yeah, because you just made me think about something. There used to be that thing of like, say like a tune might come out, yeah, and then it's like, it's kind of proper buzzing on the underground or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? And you know what? It might be floating around there for a year and a half,
right,
before it starts to become a big thing. Like now, it's like if it pops, it just does a madness straight away.
Yeah, I Love You was like that. I Love You was something that grew from the land, and some of the stuff up in the corner was that. Yeah, but in this day and age, things are just bang. Look at what's the one that just went number one? Russ.
Yeah, Russ and Tia.
Bang. Still off the back of Keisha Becky, they just put the groundwork in. They work as a team, like it's something else, and I'm a fan. Yeah,
their thing is proper.
Yeah, proper. I've like Russ from Olympic Chinging.
Yeah.
them three. You know what's mad? That little era of drill, I only took it serious when because I didn't know much about it. Is when I was in America, I came back, and Giggs did the thing with 6-7.
Oh, Let's Lurk.
And I remember listening to that tune, I nearly crashed my car. I like, what the right up my street. Tune, oh my God, it's dark and like, that, I love that.
Hey, if you haven't heard that, go back right now, pause this and go and watch that video. I think, I don't know if it was on Link Up or whatever,
Right.
But Let's Lurk, 6-7 and Giggs. That thing is a madness.
That before that, there was the kids at the barbershop arguing with me about drill, and it's the first time I felt because I didn't. I thought like they all sound the same, and then I had to check myself like like I'm that age now where the thing is like I'm not getting it.
Yeah,
and the youths was so firm.
Yeah,
that I had to check myself like like them man. He's saying it with so much chest like he's barely left school and he's not having it.
Yeah,
so. Let me listen to this thing. And then the more and more I kept listening and going back and arguing with him. And then I realised, I'm actually waiting for this to drop every week.
Yeah.
And I'm listening
now
to
you're
it. And I'm
in.
not, I heard what's it called, the AM and the, I listen these times, innit? And then I realised, I'm actually a fan now. Like I listen to this, I drive around to this. And then the one that got me, Lowski, Taze and Russ, Olympic Chinging.
Yeah.
And like, I know the whole thing with like, as I've gone along, I've like done the background into it. It's like, okay, it's rough.
Who gets on with who don't?
Yeah, it was the other one, the other mad tune. Not 012. What are they called again? The one that Digga D was in. That tune, No Hook. No Hook.
I don't know that. Wait, hold on, mate. My phone's off.
That his crew, the crew he come from, foul. But that between that and Olympic Chinging, the audacity was mad.
Yeah.
But the lyricism, though, I thought, these guys are top-notch lyricists. In my head, that's what I was thinking because the shit that they're saying,
a lot of them don't necessarily get enough credit for like how they're putting words together,
Right.
and like what they're and like their storytelling ability, probably because of some of the things that they're saying and whatnot. Yeah,
But it's mad how we accept it from America and don't question it, and we always have.
Yeah,
Like,
we always have.
And I always with the production, and when I thought about
To
Ashley
be
Rah,
fair, though,
these guys, yeah. What you
To
saying?
be fair, I feel like the first uproar from like music that came from people like us, I'd probably say was like what I saw anyway. I did see like some women, some girls that had a little bit of an issue sometimes with like what was going on, like with what like certain guys were saying in tunes or whatnot. But even then, I just think that like enough of the time, if the tune banged, like they were just still on the vibe.
It was the girls who like nothing bangs or reaches the top without the girls anyway.
for real.
So whatever's popping off.
Remember the strip club era in that, when there's all that stuff was going off and that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything that pops off is the women is usually behind it. It can't pop off without having women. That might sound stupid, but
yeah.
I believe that.
With the drill thing though, just quickly, I think that like for me, I thought the same as you, yeah, in a sense that it seems like everyone sounds the same and whatnot. But one of the reasons why I realised, even down the line, why that's like a mad comment to even make, yeah, is purely because I feel like there's substance to it, but depending on the angle of which you come, where you're coming from with it. What I mean by that is, yeah, with everything, with any type of culture in terms of like music or whatever it may be, yeah, if something becomes popular, naturally you're going to get a lot of people doing it, and naturally some of the people that are doing it are going to be inspired by people inside that are doing it, and then they start sort of emulating each other or whatever, yeah. But there's always a bunch or a crop here that set themselves apart and that sound super, super different.
Like the heady ones, the
and
Russes.
that goes, like, we can go back even into Grime and say exactly the same thing, you know, where some of the olders would have turned around and said, like, all these men sound the same. To me, you couldn't have told me that, because I would have said, no, what? You telling me a man sounds like Dizzee? You telling me a man sounds like D Double? You telling me a man sounds like God's Gift? Like,
there might have been even more variety back then.
yeah, for real.
Maybe cutting through. If it was drill, at least you can argue that it is a lot of the same one flow that's being used. But in garage, there was a certain one flow that was being used at a certain point. There's some things that just go well, especially with a song.
Yeah.
Where both garage and Grime were MC based and started off not necessarily about the MCs, it was about the DJs, and the MCs were there to host. That's what MC was, innit? Where it feels like drill was just about songs or gangbanging, innit?
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they don't. You can't just give them a microphone.
Yeah,
You can't just.
you know what? There would have
That's the
slightly
thing
be
I
some
miss.
though that came from the Grime school.
Yeah.
Slightly, I feel like with a lot of music.
That's
but,
the one thing. If there's one thing that I would say I would have loved for them to incorporate, is an element of that. Purely because some of the rhythms, bro, are so tailored for that. Some of the rhythms on itself is tailored for a man to just come in and just do a madness if you just give them a microphone. But it's just not really.
It's not that culture.
Yeah.
Grime come off the back of a whole like two major massive cultures, or three really, because if you want to count the happy hardcore days that ended up going into the jungle days, jungle drum and bass days, they ended up going to the garage days.
Yeah.
It all ended up. They was all based around MCs spitting, like I said, either with a DJ, being about the DJ, things like that. Their culture's different, even though it's still a sound system culture. The drill stuff, but I think they was as much influenced by obviously Chief Keef and that, like, especially with 6-7 and that.
Do any of these guys come to you like and discuss the business with you? Because clearly, it's very different for them how it was even for you on a come up. Do you have conversations with them about?
Sometimes but it just depends who wants to listen, man. It's like you can't always have them conversations. So sometimes I might chat to, I don't know, Hardy Caprio. Like I'll have a conversation because he's really business minded.
Yeah,
like he'll actually listen. But everyone else, and I rarely bump into these guys though.
Yeah.
But when I do, it's always love. They'll tell me, oh, yeah, man, rates your thing,
Yeah,
all that. It's always love, innit? But I never have like loads of time to sit down with them. And to be fair, sometimes I'm still learning the business as well. This stuff that like
For real?
I'm finding out. Yeah, because you have to think about how you come into
changing,
it. Things are changing, but there's stuff that you just didn't even know because you're just busy just being a artist or a musician. We didn't know it was gonna pop off like that. If you're being honest, like how? We'll come off the back of So Solid and Pay As You Go and Heartless. Heartless had one tune, but as far as the sound system culture,
by the way, that song is called Heartless. It's called the Heartless theme, innit? Just for people who want to go back, and I like to do that, innit? Like,
yeah, but to give them props, which I'm about to do, they didn't have the biggest songs or career as far as music.
No.
But if you want to talk about that generation from them, Soul Solid to Pay As You Go, which then we came after.
Yeah.
Aside from Garage, obviously the Creeds and all that, Heartless were the ones who were like popping. They just didn't translate to songs, innit?
Yeah.
So
they were a vibes thing.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
vibes for them. Like, come to a party and vibe it.
So my point being, and aside from Dynamite, there wasn't loads of people that popped off before, man. So it's like I'm saying, there's no blueprint.
Yeah, for real.
So we didn't necessarily know it was gonna pop because no one had, especially on a solo thing, and kept going.
Yeah.
So just things have just had to learn along the way, even down to how much harder it was for me performance wise. Like I just like. It hadn't been proved. So there's times at festivals where they make man use a band. It's not band music.
Right.
Stuff like that.
This is because, alright, bro. Okay, I need to give some people some context here, yeah? I talk a lot about, from stuff from back in the day and whatever, and like comparing.
And let's not talk about still. Like, you think about it. No, let's do that.
Yeah.
Because the time that I was popping off, remember, is that all the indie artists, so we weren't getting offered the same stuff that they were getting offered off the gate, out of the gate.
The percentages was super different.
All that, just money or just deals up front or any of that. And them times they don't even know nothing about that. I'm coming straight.
Did you sign one of them?
What's that?
Did you sign one of them deals?
A 360?
Yeah.
There weren't no 360 deals that then. We're talking about 2003. There weren't no 360 deals.
There wasn't a 360
But I'm still coming off the back of selling white labels to record shops from the boot. Me, Wiley, Target, everyone from that generation, that's what they did. It was passed on from, I guess it probably started with the I don't want to say dancehall, reggae.
Yeah, of course.
Blue Note.
Yeah.
Everything came from that whole setup.
Brother,
I guess.
I could tell you actually, yeah. So like when I was first like getting records and stuff, right?
Is it Blue Note?
Blue Beat.
Oi,
honourable shout out to Tigo,
So yeah, from Blue Beat, when that stuff was coming into England, because the guys from here were importing the records over and all that, especially we're in West now, so there been like record
Dub
shops
vendor.
around here. Exactly, all that. That's
Dub
a whole
vendor.
nother mad history.
Yeah.
You've got to do a documentary on that, man.
Listen, I'll be down for doing that because even when I started buying records and that was a thing that I was doing to copy my dad. My dad was a DJ and that. So then but I'm a kid. So if I've got £5 or £6 or whatever, I'd find my way to Dub Vendor in Labatt Grove, and this is how it used to work, yeah. So there used to be a man in Dub Vendor record shop. His name was called Red Man, yeah. And I'd noticed that like people would go in the shop and then like the Red Man would play some rhythms, yeah. And then people would just stand up there and just put their hand up like that. And then he would just remember and just put each person's 7-inch, whatnot. Right. So now, remember, I've got £7, you know. Right. That's 1 7-inch. So I know when I put my hand up, I gotta make sure I get like the proper one. So these times I'm always waiting for like, the Beanie Man or the Bounty Killer or like the Merciless or whatever it may be. But I was a fan of like just being in that environment and watching like what was going on. And I remember like being in places and seeing man coming and dropping off grime records and shit like that. Like, and that was a hustle. That was essentially shotting. Man would just come there with the vinyls or whatever. Obviously, you'd give it to whoever. What did you?
No, we had to build up trust. So you going on to that. So first, it started off with me cutting the dub and give it to a DJ.
Wait, see the place that you cut the dub. Yeah, what was the name of that place? Music House.
I remember going there by myself because, like I said, it'd been seasoned. Guys, it was a regular thing. You go Music House, you cut your dub. I cut mine off a mini disc.
Oh,
I cut mini disc. Yeah, I remember. I cut my dub. The first one I gave, my first song I ever made was called Ready for War. Okay. So I was still in school when I made that, but I was on radio with Nasty Crew. Okay. So the first dub I ever cut, I gave to DJ Mac10 and probably Marcus Nasty because Marcus was the main DJ then. And then eventually other tunes I made, I had another one called Crime and another one called Boy Them About.
Did you have to wait for time in music? Because I heard
that was a thing. It was a little queue and that, but sometimes if you do a little name,
cutting for time.
Yeah, but it was a thing that I felt like I'd leveled up when I went there. Like I had to find it. These times there's no sat nav, there's no nothing. I have to find this Music House place. I'm from East.
Man has to go and use the Rascal, was it A to Z?
I'm sure I took the train. I think I took the train. Is it? Yeah? Them times I didn't drive them times. So I had to take the thing that, and how old was I? I was 15 or 16. So I had to come Archway or whatever it was. I'm sure it was Archway. From Bow and try and find it And then I found it and I was in there and it's like, yo, I want to cut this. Like, it's like they knew how to do it. It was amazing. But then, it's like what you're talking about the records. So when we were taking those records to like the rhythm divisions or whatever record shop in, that's a record shop in whatever area, north, east, south, west, wherever it was, and then sometimes a bit out of town, Bedford, Luton or whatever those times. You take them there first, and like I said, tune might not be crazy right just there and then, like, and cause these times garage is still just the main thing. Grime is like this little weird underground thing still.
It's a youth thing.
Yeah, so then they'll take them and they say, all right, we'll see how much we sell, then we'll give you the money. And then by the time, a lot of people don't know, a lot of the big instrumentals are made in Grime, like Ho, Strings Ho, Go, all them tunes. By the time I got to those,
Yeah. By the way, I think there's a rhythm called, is it Wheel?
Yeah, I did that one as well.
Oh my God. Yeah. Go and Google that one. Yeah. Wheel.
Yeah, them tunes there. But so by the time I was making them, putting them on white label, some of them I ended up putting them on Dirty Stank actually, which was my label that I started then, because I saw everyone else was doing that. I can have my own label, right, cool. So just slap your own label on top of it. So I'll take them there, and then this, by now, they're giving you the money up front.
Okay.
So that was nice. Everyone's like, by these times, I was getting more money than anyone I knew that shot it.
So that's trust. That's a definite.
Because they knew the things were gonna go off.
They knew it was gonna go.
But partly because we was already promoting on radio, and because those tunes that you're talking about there, MCs loved them. Because that's what I made them for. I made them for to mash up something like Go, or was it Ho? I think I made Ho for Young Man Standing.
Young Man Standing was an under 18s.
Under 18s rave. So Young Man Standing, Rumble Stampede. Okay. These were all they were the ones in East and North.
Did you ever do Bigger Fish?
You know what's mad? I was sparring with Derek Chisora.
Yeah.
The other, like, don't ask me why I did that. But I did that. I sparred with him, and I bumped into him a few times. But then he said to me, "You don't remember me, innit?" I said, "What do you mean?" Like, he said, "Bigger Fish." I said, "Bigger Fish." Oh my God, Bigger Fish. Like, you don't remember? I was in Bigger Fish, like back in that, because he's a couple years younger than me, but he was at Bigger Fish. I remember, and it's like, if he didn't say that to me, this is like a few months ago, I would never remember that name again.
Right.
One of them ones.
Bigger Fish was like one of the biggest under 18s in like in West and like Northwest sort of area.
And that's, you know what it was as well, because that took me to that area. There would have been no reason for me to go there.
This is the thing, yeah. It's like, honestly, when I was told I was having this conversation, I was like, there's a couple of things here. There's so many different conversations I could have with you, bro. Like, so many different
and you know what, bro? I wish people would.
And also, like, all of this time, this is the first time I've ever meeting you, which is nuts. Because, obviously, I've been around for a little while or whatever. But I was there, I saw a lot of stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? And I always remember, like, there was an under 18s in Tudor Rose, which is in Southall.
Stop it.
Right? And I always remember my brethren, Speedy, he was an MC as well. He's come to me and he's like, rah, like, there's this MC called Dizzee, like, and he's hard. Then I'm like, is it? He's like, yeah, he's probably sick, whatever. Then he starts saying this boxing MCs like my name was Frank. Then I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Then I heard you on Ice FM with Wiley, and honestly, bro, that set there changed so much for me, because all I could ever listen to at that point was that. I was so sold in that moment, that set there just became life to like me and my brethren and all of these type of things. So when I go back now as an adult and I think to myself, okay, boom, you're from East, obviously before that you was a DJ, you're doing what you're doing. You're like doing under 18s. You're building your rep and all of these type of things. As an MC, but like coming out of your block, and like going to places like that, and getting the reaction that you was getting. Like, do you ever remember like how that felt, or was you really like just sort of?
You see, when you've got I guess you see a kid who loves football will go anywhere and play football. Because when you're playing for like not Sunday league team, I guess they see that level of team before you go to the next ends and you play them, innit?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me. I was just going to a next area. It brought me into all these different. That's kind of how I navigated London. I knew East and I knew North and I knew South a bit through just. Again, some of it was through that though. Yeah. Like I used to go Deptford Youth Club. This is before I was even in Roll Deep. It's mad because I was talking to Big Nasty about it. I used to move with Essentials. So I used to go south and link them. And they used to be on this station. It was a weird, I thought, what's this weird station? He said, yeah, man, this is digital radio. I said, what's digital radio? Like, what the digital radio? You know what I'm saying? All the way back then.
By the way, do you know who had one of them? Oh, what was his name? AJ. AJ had one in Hounslow, and I can never remember the name. That was the first time I met Jammer and D Double.
Okay.
Yeah. And that always sticks to me because I remember like he's like a fat. Like I was in a crew at that time, so I had a crew called Fatal Attraction and whatever. I was a DJ, but I used to just MC, and I just built my name and my.
But that's what. Yeah, that's what you always want to MC as
well.
Yeah,
yeah. Because that's what everyone was doing in that too. So I just built my name up doing whatever it was that I was doing. But I think AJ was kind of like a fan of what we were doing, and then loved what you man were doing. So he tried to like put us together in a room to just catch a vibe. But in hindsight, that wasn't the move because these men are from here, I'm from there, and there's that natural testosterone ego kind of thing where it's like...
No, it was amazing because for me to get back to the point here, what you're saying about going to all these different ends, there was obviously tense, but the love was mad as well. Like, and sometimes we're stepping into war zones. Like, I'm stepping into situations sometimes that I don't know. Like, I'll say everyone's seen Blue Story, whatever. Yeah. That's my era. Like, I was in the club in Ghetto, and then Peckham Boys come and shut it up. Yeah. Just it's that time. I don't know. I'm just here to spit. Like, and it's just popping off. Like, it's mad.
Also, for extra clarity, every bar was a rewind bar, and I think that was because every single bar, Dizzee had was. It was a rewind bar, and it was because obviously the tapes and all that was floating around. So everyone just knew, like, especially if there was like the same one, like the same tapes going around, you just become familiar with all of the lyrics.
No, it's like the promo, that would have been the social media in a way, and that's what radio was. And it was live a lot of times. People used to wait to lock in, and I'm from that as well. I'm a fan of that, so that's why I ended up going into that again. But back to like going to all the different ends. When I look back at it now, like I'm so like happy about that because I got to see the hood. In a positive way. All right, there were shootings, there was this one, there was mad things going on. But at the same time, you had people who had beef with each other in the same dance, and it didn't always kick off. No. It was love. They come to see, man, and like I said, because of those tapes and that, it was that. I didn't go to other areas on no negative thing. I went there and it brought people together. I'm in Tottenham. I'm in Peckham. I'm in Imperial Gardens. There's Brixton man there. There's Peckham man there. I'm over here. Hackney, Stratford, Plaster, all that. That's like that's East anyway. So
was there ever a day where?
And back then there was Birmingham. Then Leeds,
of course, and
Bedford, Luton, Manchester, all these, and then Manchester, all these different places. I got to see.
Did it ever get sticky for you at any black? Is there a standout moment for you though where you went somewhere and it did just get sticky for you?
I went Iron Up, I didn't go too well.
Oh yeah.
That weren't great. Yeah. We can laugh about it now, but other than that, there was just always like the looming threat of it. Sometimes guys will try and enjoy you or make you think there was something was gonna happen. Yeah. But overall nothing really popped off. There was always just the threat of it. Yeah. But those times I'm telling you, all I wanted to do was go there and just spray and see my rhythms fuck up the dance. That's all I cared about. That's it. So
like I'm trying to think. Back then, did we look at Dizzee as a producer? And even now, I would say that either you don't get the credit that you should deserve for being a producer, or maybe you haven't done a good job at letting it be known that is part of your armor.
Do you know what? I posted a post on my Instagram the other day of like some of the tunes I mentioned earlier on, the instrumentals. And the amount of people that like, fuck, you made that. They didn't know. Because I was so busy being Dizzee the MC, people weren't clocking like those tunes. And guys were smashing them tunes up, a whole Grime scene.
The only reason why I knew these things is because of the geek side of me, bro. Otherwise I would never have known.
But it's not like you don't have a producer tag or nothing like that. Nah. Then I don't want to say, yeah, this one's my tune. I did this.
That's true.
Take the man off the mic and let everyone know. You know what I mean?
I love you. I still found that out kind of late that you produced that though. But even then, and that kind of goes to what we were saying before. I heard the instrumental before there was even a song.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? And for me, that instrumental was floating around for a little bit. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then it ended up becoming It ended up becoming a tune.
Right.
And then it ended up becoming a real big tune for you in a certain dynamic at that point.
Right.
But like, yeah, I think I mentioned that to say like, yeah, had that have been in this era, I think literally that would have done a whole complete different thing in the way that people would have seen it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because people, again, just that whole argument about the Godfather and all this stuff there, if they would have known, no, actually, I made these tunes first. That set everything.
Yeah, for real.
We was all in that studio. I used the gliding square, which is what people say is the Esky stand.
Oh.
I just use it on a different tune.
Who produced Ice Rink? Was that you
That's
or was that
Wiley's
Wiley?
tune, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then funny, even with that, that's not even a song.
I know. Do you know?
But it got pressed up like a song and I ain't seen no P. So
Google this, yeah. Go and listen to Dizzee on Ice Rink. Do you know one thing? I listened to that maybe about a year ago, yeah. And there's one thing that I love about that is the fact that in the beginning you can hear people in the back. You can hear just people just talking in the back, yeah. And in my head, it's like it paints this picture of like being in a gritty little studio or whatever. Man, them are just there, and it's like, alright, cool. I'm just gonna spray because everyone had a version of that.
yeah,
There was must have been about 15 different versions of that, which does make me mention, and I was going to talk about this a little bit further down the line. I feel like we don't talk about Commander B enough. For me, I listened to Commander B was on Choice FM at the time. Choice FM was like a radio station that it was like an early one extra, yeah. And Commander B was on what, 12 o'clock, maybe 12 till 3 in the morning or whatnot, yeah. And these were like, aside from Rinse and some of the like pirate stations or whatever, Choice was a station that we looked at as the main commercial like black radio station, and he was on there playing all you lot's rhythms. Like, yeah, okay, it was 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night time and all of that, yeah, but that still meant something because it was on a like a national-ish radio station, which you lot weren't getting that.
They didn't want us on there.
Nah,
Like our thing was very. It was tricky. Like I said, we weren't welcome in a lot of places.
yeah.
A lot of clubs, a lot of things. He didn't really want us there. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, Commander B and CK Flash as well.
CK Flash.
Yeah, they were together. They're brothers, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
They did a bit. Yeah.
But just going back to the producer thing really quickly, yeah, I don't feel like you actually have done a great job at letting people be known that that's your thing. Are you back at that now though? You're like, is that your bag now again?
I didn't like, you know what? But what did I do a better job at?
Being an artist.
Being the artist.
Yeah.
Like I've been nice for years, but like I've done a lot, like enough.
Yeah.
So whether I didn't get the credit as a producer, it's like okay, but you lot know me, innit?
Yeah, I hear
you know enough.
Yeah, I guess like your peers would have known anyway. Anyone that was around, anyone that was there, they would have known. But did you essentially take a break off just producing anyway?
By the time my fourth album, so when Dance With Me, Holiday and all that times there,
yeah,
I stopped because I was riding off the back of massive pop tunes.
Yeah.
And by the time of my third album, I just got sick of making beats and I wasn't feeling what I was making.
Right.
And now understanding it now, because it was for a different purpose. I wasn't in the places that I made those tunes for.
Yeah.
So like I said, remember I told you I was making those beats for the radio, for MCs to fuck up and for raves. Yeah. So by the time now I'm just in festivals or doing concerts and shows and that's I'm not there. So I'm just like, I'm in festivals, so that's why the music changed.
Right.
So you make music for the people in front of you.
Right.
Like that's the easiest thing.
Of course, yeah. I'm gonna get a little bit more into that a little bit later, yeah. But like, I wanted to still stay in that era a little bit of like Boy in the Corner, because that came out, and obviously we all know what that did. End up doing a complete madness and all of these type of things, yeah. But even just before all of that, did you, from a competitive nature, see anyone as a threat?
As a threat?
Yeah. Like, did you see anyone either side, whether it be in a room full of MCs, or even like as an early artist, did you see anyone as like a direct competition to you?
I don't think so. Honestly, I just think it was just a competitive thing as well. It was just always that undertone of what bar did you just put?
Yeah.
So like see like the thing with me and Titch on the roof.
Yeah.
that was genuinely over. I said the what lyric.
Oh, stop that, start that, get that what? And he
it-
didn't love that.
No, he was upset I did it. Like when we was in the car, I linked him a couple of days after. Like, so we're in the car, I've been sitting there, so like, yo, so like, what was all that? Because I've heard all this, like, he's got to do this,
Yeah, he
do
wants to
that,
do, yeah.
all this stuff. And then I asked him, he said, "Nah, man, you said that what lyric?" And even I like, you see, like that's like the world stopped. I said, did he just say that? In my head, I'm thinking, did he just say I said the what lyric? Is that what this is? Now I realise, people say what they want about him. They think he's Rambo, the god of the roads, yeah. But he really wanted, what in his heart, he was an MC.
Yeah.
He cared that much.
Yeah.
Like he was that passionate. Like he loved it that much that he thought it was that. So my point being that people were super competitive our generation. Because I guess it started with us, innit? So it was a thing. Because to even get on the mic back then, even from going to the youth clubs to you had to almost force your way on.
Yeah, definitely.
In the first place.
Yeah, definitely.
So you had to like be the loudest.
Yeah.
Or be the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was
bold.
that.
You had to be bold.
Yeah.
And show an extreme amount of level of confidence.
Yeah.
And arrogance to a degree.
To a degree, yeah, I guess, yeah. You'll start, or roughness. Sometimes maybe start your roughness. Some guys are madman on this, like that's who they are, like is what it is, isn't it? So there was always that thing of, I guess, but then I was still, people look at me like I'm separate, like I've always been separate, don't with no one.
It does seem like that though.
It seems like that because I don't like fuss, and I think the game, like a lot of our culture, are full of.
Yeah.
If we're being real, I'd have a lot of time. I haven't had a lot of opportunities to speak because I don't like it. I don't like chatting. I think people are, and I think they just chat a lot. There's a lot of draw outs, and I don't care. So that's why I've always kind of, and I know myself, and I know that I try my best to just be cool and all that, but then sometimes I can be very not cool. So I try and keep myself out of situations, innit?
Yeah.
So what was I saying anyway? See,
we'll talk about this.
Myself up. People feel like I'm anti or something.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I took Kano to the studio to make boys and girls.
Okay.
I took him to the studio, and then he recorded the thing. So I was still back then. You're
still connecting some dots and still like not fully detached. From
no, this is the stuff that people don't know about. I'm always about like somewhere. Like I'll chat to people behind the scenes. I'll be sitting in man's yard. I'm about in it. I just don't like unnecessary just chatting.
I hear you.
And showing myself and nonsense.
Yeah.
I've got
what
no
stage
patience.
did you see like at what stage did you see that and feel that like where
early? I saw it as a thing early. I saw it was a thing in this game early from young. Saw the nonsense that was going on, the draw outs and all the, and I've said in it. I've just a lot of stupidity.
Yeah.
So I'm a dude that I actually don't like unnecessary violence.
Right.
But I don't run from it either.
Of course.
So I just try.
I think it takes a lot of self-awareness though to know. You know what?
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna hang around this, it's gonna make me feel some type of way.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just.
I actually just like making music.
Yeah.
All I ever want to do, I don't even like doing promo. I don't like being on the camera. I don't like anything. I just want to make tunes. I just love the reaction. I love what it do. I love when people still to this day, especially my generation, talk about what that music meant to them back there because I didn't get to feel it like they did.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm still hearing this stuff.
I was an area nightclub, bro.
Right.
I was there. I DJ'd there. So I would like sometimes, a couple times, Ingrid and Ricky and that let me do like because you know what, for me, I got to a point, I loved grime, but I preferred watching people MC more than me actually do it myself. Do you get me? So I stopped doing all of that. So I just carried on just collecting music and doing all these type of things and just trying to hustle my way through. But I know, like, I was at Area Nightclub and I knew what it meant. I knew how it felt, like, being in there. Like, as I was telling the story before of just, like, you know what, obviously you have the hip-hop, dancehall set, all of that, ragga, all that getting played, Then the grime would start. But then it would start off with, like, a couple of MCs Like from the, you understand what I'm saying?
And then there was this thing where like
it just started.
There was
to
a
just,
vibe. Yeah. No,
and
crazy.
Like honest, it's so hard to explain
to people. Yeah,
but it would get to a point where it was like, and I think this kind of goes to what you were saying about, you know, being in certain hoods and that. Remember, think about like Area Nightclub. There was man coming from all different hoods, and it was in one space.
Right.
But as the night goes on, we're all locked in and tapped in to what's about to happen now.
Mad.
Forget about what I got with my man and what she's got with her or whatever it is, yeah? Like, Flirty D's here, Bashy's here,
right.
D Double's here, Wiley's here, and then at some point, you're gonna come on and do your thing. Bro, like, I know you couldn't see it because you was in it, but I was there to see it, and I knew what, I go back to that, and I think that was such a euphoric moment, bro. Like a crazy moment.
All around the country.
Yeah.
Like I said, it took me to different places, like that I would never have had no reason to go to.
Yeah.
And then by the time I would have had a reason to go there, I wouldn't have had no mad connection. Like it's amazing. Like I'm proper proud.
Yeah.
That I've got that. When people say, when America talks about when they talk about the hood and they talk about their culture, and I'm proud that like now we've got our own, like,
yeah, for real. I think that was a start of that as well, because obviously for a lot of the time, you know, we used to look to Americans for a lot of things,
right?
And like we had our own. I always remember this thing with Master Steps saying, Master Steps was on the radio one time. He's a DJ, by the way. And like he was talking about people trying to diss man for being fans of you lot and whatever. And he said on the radio one day, no, like everyone's always chasing Americans and that, yeah. See, like when you see these man, you should chase them. Chase these lot, make them feel love. Like, make them feel love.
No, I've heard all that talk. People like, Grime was a bit sneaky and just like, but sometimes I find that some people were doing a copy. I think they were sneaky for trying to be like, so it is what it is, and we're all from the same place.
Yeah.
And so okay, you chose to do that. Did you invent the gun?
Yeah.
So what? Who gives a is where it is. Everyone's got their own battles, bro. It is where it is. You deal with what's in front of you, innit?
Right.
So that's that.
See, with the separate thing, like being separate, after a while, yeah, naturally, like you had a few albums that was on XL, and then you started putting albums out on Dirty Stank, which is your own label, yeah?
Mm-hmm. No, I put stuff on Dirty Stank before. Before
that,
which could let me talk about the white labels and
forget, of course, you said that before.
And then
but the album stuff though, your first album, the
big release after XL, the stuff I put out on Dirty Stank was Holiday, Bonkers.
Yeah, that was like the tongue-in-cheek album, right?
Exactly.
So like, which is interesting to me now is that so you had these albums that were on XL, which is an independent label still. At this point, you could have probably signed a check. You could have signed for a big check at this point, yeah?
Nah, but they weren't offering the check I thought I should have got.
Right. But this is the thing. Now, because I know that like, even if you talked about money and stuff like that now, it's crazy compared to what people were getting, like, to what people are getting now. But back then, there was certain money.
Not necessarily.
No. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because I'm saying,
I've heard you have this talk as well. So guys are getting money then as well. Like, it just depends. Like, there's some youths that right now, okay, the stuff they're getting up front seems like a lot, but it was like was still a lot. Yeah, but that's my whole point is that even then, even in comparison, even though I felt like it might have been a lot little, like it still would have been a lot of money coming back from where you've come from or whatever. So like, question being is that, like, what made you say I ain't doing that and I'm actually going to at this point in your career do that? Because surely the goal for a lot of people back then was the record label signing a deal, innit? Like that was such a big thing at one point, no? I purposely didn't sign to the majors and sign to XL instead because after I sat down with a few different people, the different labels and that, I remember one of the major labels, I can't remember which one it was, they already were talking about and then you could do, they were already trying to change what I was doing.
Right.
So I just thought, already, they were getting on my nerves already. The thought of that, I think XL were the ones that they were just cool and they were just going to let me do what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But when it came to, like I said, the re-up, because I completed my deal, that's what I've completed my deal now. I'm free agent again.
Mm.
So, but with that time around, so it was a 3-album deal. I'd done recouped or whatever, gone gold on each album. It was done. So and it is all coming from my manager, innit? It's not like I sat down with him and had a conversation and they said, no, we're not giving you that. This is what my manager said. So he's saying you could either do this over here, but this is the money they want to offer you and that. And I thought, like, why am I getting the same money as before? Like, I thought I should have more. Like, I've done a
Facts.
lot. Like,
Yeah.
And so the thing to go independent again was like, the way I thought of it. Remember, I've always been a fan of like Jay-Z and Master P and all that. Some people know that, and just the way they do things and that. And then I recognised that, well, I came in the game like that as well. Like saying, loading up a car, taking it to the record shops. Like, that's independent. That's where it is. So I'm thinking, right, this is just like going to be a bigger version of that. I didn't know it was going to pop off like it did, because the first thing we're coming in, it's different music. Them times I'm independent and I'm just slanging records to be played on radio, smashing Razorland, and kind of that's that. This time, like I'm in the frame, I'm on the world stage, but by this time I'm international. I've toured the world and done all that. You know, I've done festivals around the world and my own shows, all of that. So it was a bit of a brave thing to do, but my pride wouldn't let me do nothing else. I can be real proud at times, you know what I mean? Or stubborn, depending on how you look at it, you know what I mean? But yeah, with that one, I said, nah, I'll do it myself. And I felt like it felt good to like try. I'm a dude, I will try. Even if I foul and fall on my face in front of the world, sometimes like I'll have a goal to know that I did, innit? And it worked out. So Dance With Me came off the back of me meeting Calvin Harris at one of the festivals, radio festivals or whatever. That was the first tune. Put it out. It's like a 10 grand video at the time. Weren't expensive, because they're the times they was real spending on money on videos, you know, music videos, and Notting Hill Arts Club, just there, bunch of birds, sorry, not birds, a bunch of whatever, girls that I already knew for whatever reasons, just load them all up into the video, and whoever else would just want to come, like not that we didn't take it that serious, took it serious enough, but I didn't know it was gonna go #1 for a month,
right,
independently, and then got another tune, then Bonkers came out after that, went #1 for 2 weeks. Black Eyed Peas knocked it off. It's that boom, boom, boom. That tune. Yeah. You know how big that was?
Yeah, that was massive.
So that means that my thing must have been big as well for that to knock. And they are the craziest spending, obviously, because they were on Universal. It was Jimmy Iovine, innit? And then Holiday, which was another Calvin Harris produced song that came out. That went #1 for 2 weeks. And then what else? Dirty Disco, which was a joke. I did that for a joke. I was just in the studio. Do you know what that song was? Have you ever seen that film Don't Mess With the Zohan?
Nah.
It's an Adam Sandler thing. It's about a dude. It's about Israel and Palestine beefing, actually, but it's done in a comedy where it's a guy who he's a hairdresser. He just wants to make people look nice, and he falls in love with a Palestinian girl. And it's all so at the time I didn't know nothing too tough about Palestine and Israel and all that. But now I've looked back on it, it's like, right, that was deep. But he did something in it. Where he's the DJ and he's like disco, do it like for a joke. So I just did that in the booth,
and then it became a thing.
And it went #1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right, and then just the album, and the album was platinum now, but the album didn't go #1, but was obviously a huge album.
Yeah, massive. So wait, did you fall into that era by circumstance? Was it just like, or happenstance? Should I say, like you just linked with Calvin because you still. In your music, in the albums, even going back and listening to them, they're still quite eclectic in some way. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Production-wise, production style and that. You've always been really experimental with sound and music. But see that, remember, like, and for Dizzee, for a few different eras have done like very groundbreaking stuff. So see, like with the Boy in the Corner stuff, obviously that went and did what it did at a time where no one was doing that. Like winning a Mercury award and all that was mind-blowing to a lot of people, Then going now and then doing this, remember, no one was really doing that. I have to give Dynamite the credit though for doing it the year before. You? She was the year before me, and then she handed it to me. I remember. I was in Napa when she won it. Right,
I remember, and everyone was like,
honourable shout out to Miss Dynamite.
And I watched her smash up dances as well, and I put her up there with all the biggest MCs ever.
Of course, I'd love to have a conversation with Miss Dynamite, you know. But even in this part here, no one from where you was coming from was doing that, and then you've obviously gone and like had all of that success by doing that. But did that happen out of happenstance?
It's a culmination of a bunch of things. It's only now when you talk and look in hindsight, you can piece certain things together. So everything from obviously decisions that your manager's making and the label's making, and then sometimes your agent who's doing your shows strategically putting you in certain spots. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
Obviously your boy You know what I mean, for staying focused and staying out of trouble as much as he could, yeah. And then especially again with the shows, because after Boy in the Corner took me, even though you say it was a Grime album, Grime Bible or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
That put me on tour with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
So off the back of that, I toured with Justin Timberlake around on his UK tour. So that put me in front of the biggest pop crowds at that time.
Right, and is that kind of, because I've heard you talk about this before, yeah?
Yeah.
That tour in particular was quite significant for you in regards to like where your goal. Was it your goal? In a sense of like, okay, cool, boom, like there's all these people out here. I'm going and I'm doing my Boy in the Corner stuff. It's probably not popping off the way that you're so used to popping, like especially when you're doing a support act.
No, but it did.
Oh, it did, yeah.
It did, but there weren't enough for them to sing along to.
Right.
By this time, I've Boy in the Corner and Showtime's newish. So when I'm just spraying 32s at all these screaming girls, it's cool, but they've got nothing to sing along to.
Right,
so,
which then changes, obviously.
Then you start looking for that,
right?
And it's the same energy. See, when I was talking earlier on about when you playing football, you just go anywhere to play football.
Yeah,
I kept the same energy. Right, I'm going to do a show here. I need to smash that.
Right.
Just wherever I am, I need to smash it. So I need the ingredients. I need the materials to do it.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked its way to that. I think I was when I met Calvin Harris, I'd already heard his music on TV. He had Acceptable in the 80s, and I liked it. I liked his sound. And then he did a song with Mitchell Brothers.
Right.
There's one called Michael Jackson. I wish I could move like Michael Jackson.
Oh yes.
And I said, you can rap on his stuff.
I forgot about that.
Right. They're from East as well. So one of them's Gracious K's cousin.
Is it? For real?
Yeah,
honorable shout out to Gracious. For people who don't know, he had a migraine gang.
Right. So they when I heard them on Calvin Harris, that's when I said, yes, you can. Because I'd always thought, I liked his sound. I thought that shit would work for me. So, and then I ended up seeing him at Radio 1 Big Weekend. Had to have been like 2008 or 7, because it's when Umbrella was just #1 for like 100 years.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, and because she was there, and I remember talking to Jay Brown at that festival. But I just when I met Calvin,
Jay-Z's one of his right hands, right?
And was Rihanna's manager.
Right.
So that's when I met Calvin Harris and spoke to him like, yo, we need to do something, man. Let's do something there. So we had that. We were already talking, and then I ended up getting a beat from Groove Armada.
Okay.
Groove Armada. They put on this festival. They're obviously massive like dance, but they put on, what's the festival at Ricky Park?
What Ricky? I don't know.
Enough man started going. I can't remember what it's called. Whatever.
What? Anyway. Not like SW4.
Nah, that's in South, innit?
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Oh wait, no. It might come to me.
Come to me after, innit? But yeah, they sent me a beat and I wrote the lyrics to dance with me on that.
Okay.
And then my manager said, "No, these lyrics are good. You could probably get a better beat though. I think you should get a better beat." That's when I hit up Calvin and he sent me the dance with me beat, and I listened to it and I was just hooked on it. And then that's when I wrote
started changing things for you, boy.
Yeah. That was, and then obviously, and then I kept. Sometimes if I work with someone that works, I'll get more of them. Innit?
Of course, yeah.
And then the Bonkers thing came from that. Just got sent to me. I was in America when it got sent to me. I was in Colorado randomly. Okay. And he sent that to me. So sometimes everything just comes together. You have them things where you can't explain. I can explain in hindsight, but maybe there's a bunch of other stuff in it.
Yeah. What, like, my one thing I wanted to find out from you, around that time when you was having all of that success, like, was you still listening to Grime?
What that time there? Not loads.
No.
Because it wasn't like now. Yeah. Social media weren't popular. Now I wake up and go on Grime daily, so it's easy.
Yeah.
Just crying. But there
wasn't that, was there? Yeah,
it wasn't. So you had to sit and wait for sets, innit? And by then it was all started to go on the One Extras and all different stations.
Of course.
Or Rinse become like more of a digital station in that. So you just see the odd thing that will pop off. Like I might randomly go Jammer's house. I might randomly go and sit with Skepta in his
because I know you still kind of kept a close sort of relationship with some.
Them man used to come to my house. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I know it looks like one thing because
it literally looks like you're just super separate. Everything.
I've never just liked talking. for the sake of talking and just being about and all the time. And I know most of these guys don't like each other, or there's always something in the Grime scene, or just the music. It could be really petty and just dumb. And I can't be bothered. But I do check people on a one-away, just them on the ones like I said, they come to my house or I go to theirs. Enough people. Yeah.
And did it like become like the music you was making at that time? Was that like a reflection of what you was listening to? Because I always hear you talk more about like, you know, some of the stuff that's happening in Memphis and Atlanta and stuff like that, which is something that super inspired you. But on this side though, was that still a reflection of what was you making a reflection of what you was listening to, or just what was working?
So at what point though? If you give me a year or a
tongue in cheek.
Okay, I'd say by then I've been to Ibiza enough. So by the time I got sent bonkers, I understood. 'Cause I didn't like that music. I didn't like house.
Okay.
I didn't like all that stuff. I thought it was stupid, and I didn't get it. Like, when I had bonkers, it was just that's like that stuff I hated when I was a kid. But now I get it. Cause I've been to Ibiza and I've had some good times, but fun, boy.
Do you know what?
Enjoyment.
Bro, this is funny, yeah? Because you know what? I think it's so easy to be cool and forget, like dismiss what happened around that time. But if you came out of the ends and you was going to these places, like it was a vibes. I remember when I first went to Ibiza myself, I couldn't believe what was going on out there.
Same.
Even just going to festivals, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's another thing, you know. The man them caught up to me with festivals.
Yeah.
Wireless, when I was doing Wireless, I was the black rap guy.
Right.
It was separate days.
100%.
There was dancing to that. It wasn't. Tell a lie. You had Pharrell, you had Danger Mouse, but it wasn't not like it is now.
100%. 100%. And do you know why? Because, and this goes back to this is what I was wanting to bring up from earlier before, but I'm glad you brought this up here. Time ago, I did an episode on my pod where I was going through the evolution of Wireless Festival. Yeah, because a lineup had been released. This was maybe 2018. I'm looking at this lineup and I'm like, actually, no. I looked at the lineup and I went to the festival, and I remember like going to the festival and being there, and the whole time I was there, I saw one artist with a band. Yeah, and I said, you know what? I need to go back and have a look at the evolution of Wireless Festival in particular. I know that it's not a reflection of all the festivals that happen worldwide and all of that, but this is just something that happens in London. It's something that I've heard about for a long time and been going for years, yeah? So when I was looking at the earlier lineups, I think it started, 2004, maybe 3. It was just bands. And it was actually...
And dance acts.
And dance acts. But even then, I think the first one was just bands though. And it was like a 4-day thing, because it would be from Thursday to a Sunday, yeah? And then it started to become bands and dance acts and stuff like that. You only really had, I think Akala did one early. I think a Roots Maneuver might have done one or whatever it was, yeah? But there was one year, I think, you was like one of the only guys, one of the only man that was there. I think maybe the year before, Kano and Bizzle did one, but they was on like a Thursday. You came 2009, I believe, and you were quite high up on the
main stage.
Yeah, on the main stage and that was unheard.
I was a main stage act quite early into my career, thinking about it at these times. First, obviously, starting off in the tents or whatever else, but the buzz was too mad. Yeah. Reading, all these festivals, Reading, Leeds, V Festival, all these things that just wasn't urban at the time, and if it was a massive American act. And just and obviously it's me on stage, but that brought our culture in, to the tape. That's when I saw it. Well, it crossed over to an extent as well, obviously, because it'd become a national thing. Yeah,
I think maybe because a lot more people from like where we were from were doing it as well now, making like different types of music, and like I think seeing you doing festivals, like being on the bill like that, like.
But you know what's crazy though?
And also even
it deserved to be there, because it started off as a state, like it's a sound system culture anyway. So it deserved to be there. Of course it did. Like I said, like what I was saying earlier on, started off at radio stations, but it broadcasted, brought everyone together to sit and listen or pass the tapes around. But those resulted in raves.
Right.
Or things like Lewisham People's Day or Brockwell Park.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, outdoor stuff. It was always that. Carnival Rampage
Right,
sound system, stuff like that. It used to go off. It was always for that. So I guess it just needed to cross over. The promoters just needed to believe in it
first.
Yeah.
I think, see, this is the thing, yeah? This needed to happen for us to be where we are at now. It needed to be that way. Because again, literally from what you said, like, there had to be that for them, for those people, that reassurance of, wait, these lot could be on the stage and it actually could work. You know,
but we had to jump through hoops though, still. Like I said, because there's times that like I didn't need a band.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Why don't you just understand?
So did you do your first one with a band, or is that what the promoters were telling you?
Some of the earlier ones, it just. But when I moved up to them bigger slots, like maybe second to the headline and stuff like that, or even headline, they're not seeing the vision of like, they just want to fill out the stage, and it's like, this music works as it is. So I'm like, okay, we'll do it this time, smash it, and then they're convinced, and then later on it's like just me, my hype man, my DJ, and the sound of how the music's supposed to sound.
Of course,
like, you know what I'm saying. Like,
and you did what? You did Glastonbury as well, right? Or main? Did you do main stage?
I should have headlined Glastonbury.
Yeah. So
blatantly.
What? Wait, did you do like at 8 o'clock or?
I've done Glastonbury since like 2008 might have been the first time I did it. Sure. But other than that, there was a couple times where I would have been one from the headline, and then someone dropped out. They should have moved me up, but then they put on the Gorillas or someone.
Why do you feel like they did that?
The confidence. They didn't have the confidence in it, even though you just see me smashing the they're just scared, and then the Gorillas will come on, no offense to them and all that, and then just not getting the same thing. You can't put them man on after them. Are you all right? But that's the way. But then, at least then Stormzy come. And then now
it's ready. It's ready. That stage there, crazy.
Yeah.
That stage there, the pyramid stage, you look back out into the crowd and you can't see the back.
No, it's nuts. I remember just looking at it. It's a sea of people. Like it's the pinnacle. Nah, the Olympics is the pinnacle.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was mad. But it's not a festival.
Yeah,
and it's not performing at the Olympics is not the same as having a crowd jumping up and down to your music for an hour. To be fair, I guess I don't know what's bigger than Glastonbury.
Yeah, Glastonbury
here anyway.
Staying with that period as well, yeah. Just for my own curiosity as well, like, how did you feel? Maybe you didn't even pay any attention to it, and I can't. Like, I'm saying this, not remembering. I'm just going back to an assumptional, if that's a word, period of back then where there was still the divide of, right. There are artists that we have that come from where we come from that is having a level of success making different music. Then you have the quote unquote purists-ish that have an issue with that. When you were having that level of success, did you ever feel any type of energy towards you from people that came from where you came from? With you doing what you were doing,
that's what I'm talking about mainly. Them, I think they're. I just haven't said it all this time, but I do think they're. I just like for them to know that I think they're. That's how I feel about it. So because the other thing is, it's like, oh yeah, all right, cool. That's how you feel about that. So what? But then, like I said, I haven't done a good enough job about it. But you lot can't even do enough research to know how much I actually did, other than Boy in the Corner. You don't even know all these tunes I made. You don't even know there won't be no Esky without the I did. Because he changed his whole sound through being around me. It was a trade-off. Like, let's be real, people talk like they know they was there. I was there as well. How about that? So there's all that. And then, okay, I took the thing around the world. I went to America, went to South America, went to Japan, went to all these places and saw what it was doing there. Yeah, took it there, in person, live in the flesh. I wasn't just representing myself. So what about all that then? Yeah, is that annoying? Yeah, because they're and they don't know enough about what they're talking about. How dare you? No, I hear that still. You can't chat to me. And they talk like they're more experts than me. I hear you still. It's not good enough. I hear that still. But I think as well, that there's a real interest. There's a big debate to have there about that. And even like... There's not. How about that? There actually ain't. They just think there is, because I haven't said enough. There's actually no debate. Really, you should be the Godfather. Godfather, do you know what? You see the Godfather, yeah? The Godfather... How do you feel about that? The Godfather, yeah, is there to be appointed when the father dies. I'm not dead.
Right.
How about that? But that godfather.
I hear it
Like,
though.
that aside, yeah. Let me not take away what someone means to the people, because that's another thing. And another thing, let me just give a man his credit for stuff that I didn't understand at the time. Yeah. Wiley got me into a lot of dumb situations, as far as like always wanting to war MCs and all this other these clashes of it. None of that's not me. I don't like that. I never wanted to do any of that.
Your
that
bar
was his
says
thing.
different though.
No, my bars just like, I'm from an aggressive thing,
Of course.
and like I'm not having it. That's my thing, innit? And I stand by it. And sometimes I had to.
Yeah.
So that's that, innit? But as far as like wanting to clash and do all this, that's not my thing. But as I come out of it, I realized, I never watched Sting and all this stuff when I was a kid. My dad's not Jamaican. My dad didn't have a sound system. I didn't grow up in that culture. I didn't even understand that that's what I was doing.
Right.
At a certain point. So it's only years later that I can, right. That's why he was always dubs and thinking that's what he was doing.
So basically you was a part, because you didn't necessarily, a poet's gonna love this one, because you didn't have so much of a plan. You was a part of someone else's plan.
No, let's calm down.
Because
no,
I
know I had a plan. No, we're not doing that.
Let me land, and then you can correct me. Yeah.
No, let me say what I'm saying. Yeah, I wasn't part of no one's plan like that. He had his own plans and it didn't work out. So that's another thing that thingy, because
But you still clashed and you still did all of this stuff though.
Yeah, but I made album because that was my plan.
Right.
And it worked out. But my point with him being is that side of the culture. I get it now, because he was more veering towards that, and it wasn't necessarily a maliciousness or even him wanting to really start trouble necessarily all the time. It's just a very volatile time,
of course,
in history, or just in every ends. So sometimes people took it different ways, and it could go left or whatever else as well, innit? But I get it. But that wasn't my. That wasn't where I was necessarily coming from it, but I understand that he brought a lot of that to it. And then by the time it got to Eskimo Dance, he gave a solid hub for that. And it's even with the radio shows, it became more about that. Yeah. Even though that wasn't the first rave, because Bling, like I said, Young Man Standing, Rumble, those were the first Grime raves. Those were the ones who championed Grime and Heat FM. And a couple other stations, Deja, obviously. Grime started on those stations.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, before even Roll Deep was a thing. So,
it's all interesting, and I think I could see easily as well, where like there's a misunderstanding that could happen in that, because you're right. Like, and I never really hear you talk about that so much, where you didn't, your parents aren't Jamaican. You didn't necessarily come from that background and have an understanding of that. But ultimately, you're the guy in a sound that you have massively contributed, if not started in, you know what I mean, it being what it is. And now you're ending up doing stuff that you may not necessarily in your mind really want to do, on a conscious vibe. But like, it's almost, you kind of accept it as part of it, because you're not an idiot. You don't want anyone to think that you're an idiot. So you know what, if I have to be in this arena and show man that I'm doing it properly, then I'm going to do it.
Because like I say, back to thing, whatever I'm going to do, I'll have a go.
Yeah.
And then I did actually think I was that good as well. Arrogance or whatever, confidence or whatever.
I'm not going to lie to you, bro. All the bars was tailored to smoke. I tell you that. So it worked out really well for you in that sense, because if you were put in that dynamic, you could handle that and deal with that. Do you get what I'm saying?
And like I said, I had to a lot.
Do you ever think about legacy? Like, does that ever cross your mind now? Like, you've been in the game for such a long time
crazy
now.
Legacy, yeah.
And you've got like, you know, you've done so much things and been a part of like the forefront of, you know, a few different eras from a few different perspectives. Do you know what I mean? Now, do you ever look back at your, like, do you ever think about legacy? And also, see from where you are right now, do you ever look back and feel like 100% happy about literally where you've come from and where it's ended so far?
Bro, like, I'm proud, man. I'm proud to be part of a culture. See where we've come through the other side as well, especially with a lot of my generation.
Yeah.
The love I get, like maybe 15, 16 years ago, you could walk down the street. You just might get into a madness with someone just because we're all young and guys have got something to prove. Nah, those same guys, it's just love. There's so much, like, it's just bliss. And this, the way the stories people tell me about how what some of what I did like meant to them and what it means to the bits, and like I'm a hood legend, man. Like,
yeah, for real.
in this country,
for real.
Yeah,
like literally, bro. To a lot of people, like you're a superhero, bro. Like literally a
I love
superhero.
that because I just what like the way I look up to American, or I have looked up to American stuff in the past. I can fall back and like, nah, I've got this. Like this is us. Like it's deep. And then I see the parallels. Like I'll be talking to Bun B. Like somewhere we might go to some whatever club it is. It's just it's peak. And then I'll be like, nah, this reminds me of I don't know, Palace Pavilion or something. Like, and then I see the girls like, wow, like we're the same people. We've got the same. And not to I don't like bring race into everything. It's like, nah, just black people around the world. Not like, rah, just the same. We're all the same, just been put in different places. Like,
yeah, for real.
So there's that, and then just like aside from that, I just feel proud that I've been part of something more than anything. But I don't always just look back. I'm always looking. Like,
well, that's legacy
next?
now, isn't it? As well, like I guess.
Yeah, and sometimes legacy can be. Like I said, it's different perspectives. Some people see it a certain way, some people see it another way, and sometimes I think you can start painting your own picture about what you thought it really was, and it might not have been that. Looking back, you start, I think it went like this. Really, it just depends. Forward, I'm always looking forward mainly, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have been able to do most of the stuff I was doing.
Yeah, man. So I'm assuming as well now, like you're happy at like, are you happy in your place now, like? In just your place in the scene now, and like where you're at musically and all of that type of stuff.
I don't know what my place is. I don't know what my place is. That's another perspective of what my place is. Because I've heard, and sometimes the internet's a problem, because what opinion do you take on board? And sometimes you don't have a choice about what opinion you take on board, because your soul or your brain just takes whatever it wants to take, and it might not necessarily be good for you.
Yeah. But you have to untrain yourself to do that though, and that's hard. I've
got other to do though.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what, like, from your perspective, what is my place in the scene?
For me, bro, I see you as a person who now you've worked yourself into a position now where you can make music because it's fun, not because you have to. You're a superhero. You have a legacy and a career that is like set in stone, and I think that there's like still more of a purpose for you to have. I don't know what that purpose is, whether it is like, you know, you'll always still do music, but you're still a young guy at the end of the day. There's still loads of things to do. So there's probably like another chapter in your life that's somewhere in there that kind of contribute to everything that's within your legacy now. But today, bro, I just see you as someone who's just like literally, you're just here, bro, out here as a superhero, and everyone sees that, and that's a good place to be. Do you know what I mean? Of course,
you know, it's crazy. I fight with that sometimes, but go on.
No, I think naturally there's always going to be conversations about like errors of music or what people liked and what people don't like or whatever it is. But there are certain people that I just feel like it isn't a debate about how important that person has been to like not just business but culture. You know what I mean? Like what you done and what you have achieved has been not just important to business and what is happening today, but just culture in general. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you are yourself. So naturally you're gonna have these. I feel like we all sometimes can be a little bit insecure about, you know, either our place or what we're doing now or whatever it may be. But for me, bro, that's like, there's an element of this is set in stone, and that we can't refute that. Do you know what I mean? And that's a great place to be, because only a small percentage of people get that. Only a small percentage of people can be in this game and last a certain period of time or achieve some of the things that you've achieved, or, you know, travel as much as you've traveled. Like that's a dream to a lot of people. But now for you, I think maybe from a fan perspective, like it's just interesting to see what the next part of Dizzee Rascal is.
Do you know, it's mad. Everything you're saying there, like, I appreciate it as well, by the way. But you know what? It don't feel like anything. Like, everything you said there, just like, yeah, I've gone through all that as well. And it feels like, yeah, you've done all this. Like, you can just kick back and know that you've done that.
But you shouldn't. But that doesn't mean that you should.
Yeah, exactly. Because it doesn't feel like anything. It's like, it's just it's a fleeting feeling. It's done. It's cool to put in bars and let everyone know, yeah, I did this. What you saying? What? I'm the guy, not you.
Yeah,
you could put it, like, you could do it. Like, a whole thing's posturing, innit?
Yeah, of course.
But overall, nothing beats the thing of just dropping something that lands.
Yeah, of course.
And everyone's feeling it. That's it. That's all I ever wanted. I used to go. Remember, most of us went to raves for free. We paid to get in, to get to get near the mic, to get on the mic. That's how this shit started. Like, that hasn't changed. I demand more money, yes,
of course,
because of how much money people are gonna make from me.
Yeah.
But the thing's the same. Anywhere I go, I need to smash it.
What's the goal now, bro?
I need to smash it. More rhythms. That's
more
it.
Rhythms.
Yeah, you can always do stuff on the side, like, and sometimes I think it's a thing as well, but I get it, and like, it's something to aspire to. Like, you got all the big rappers always making it like seem like everyone has to be some sort of mogul, and people try and talk to you into like, oh yeah,
that's true.
Like, yeah, you can't just do music. What happens when music ends? I'm not in thinking about it. I mean, music, it's not gonna end. I'm gonna do this till I'm 80, bro. It's not gonna end. That's not the way to be looking at all this stuff. Anything I do anything else I do, yeah, unless I make a fucking George, like a grill like George Foreman, and it pops off differently. Right. It's like, right then, cool, I make grills.
No, but you won't do that.
Man.
I'm
probably not going to do that.
No, what I mean by that is, you will do that, but I don't see Dizzee saying, well, now I'll just rest on my laurels and I'll just...
Yeah, and music be a side thing. Like, I just make music because I can.
If that is in your DNA, it's just in your DNA.
Yeah, I'm a music man. Yeah. I dedicate everything to music. I care about music. Whatever I've got to do to just keep navigating, that comes first to me. It comes. I don't care about much else. Like, I'll do the odd fashion thing, I think, but I'm not sitting at them fashion shows most of the time. It's like, oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, yeah, and standing with whatever trousers coming up to the knees. We never seen.
Right, we ain't seen like.
Yeah, it's like, and I get it. That's a whole nother thing, innit? I was offered that. Where again? 18. I was there first.
Right.
I clocked it. All right, cool. Nope. I went back to the studio. That's not.
Well, you went back to just where you felt comfortable.
Yeah, I just want to make rhythms and make people go mad. That's it. That's my life's mission. Take care of family. I do that. It's a given. Yeah. I want to make rhythms and mash it up. I'll do the odd thing on the side that brings another thing, but it's still got to bring light to my music, or bring light to me in order to make people look at my music.
What is the hardest thing? Sorry, I know we kind of got to go back. I'm a Dizzee.
I'm cool though.
What's the hardest thing that you are having to deal with today? Like,
the hardest thing. That's a good thing. I don't think there's no one hard thing, you know.
Tell me a couple then.
Just life hits you outside of music, family, things go wrong. I've never been one to go deep into like my family stuff or whatever, but yeah, like things go wrong that just you ain't got no control over. And if you're someone who's prided yourself on having so much control, you're wrestling that as well as trying to have a career or as well. So there's those things. I guess everyone's wrestling with like the world looked like it ended last year.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
well.
for real.
And then just trying to navigate just life. Everyone is like, you got your theories about reincarnation and that, but overall most people are just doing this all for the first time and trying to work it out, innit?
Yeah, for real.
So
for real. Do you have a good relationship with your parents?
Yeah, my mum.
But do you know like both of your parents?
No, it's just my mum.
Oh, just your mum. Yeah, man.
So why?
Nah, that's those. I always ask that. I always feel like I was very lucky in a sense that I had a really good relationship with I got a good relationship with my dad, my mum, and my stepdad. My stepdad passed away recently, but just in reflection a lot now, I'm asking a lot of questions about like their relationship with their parents and like, how much of a superpower it can be, to have that type of backbone in regards to like pursuing a career or whatever it may be, but also sometimes how it can hinder when you don't have that. You know what I mean? You mentioned before where you talked about being proud and stubborn and stuff like that. Yeah. Like how has that hindered you?
Sometimes whatever, just flying off the handle at the wrong time when you think it's the wrong time, sometimes gives you more work. It's like throwing some dirt away and the next land on you.
Facts.
Sometimes that can happen, but then sometimes after that's cleared, it opens up a whole nother thing. Sometimes you actually just have to take a stand sometimes on certain things and just be proud. It's just the blessing might take a bit longer, but you might have just changed, rerouted yourself, but end up in a better place, because it is ultimately it's kind of on you, but and then at the same time knowing that you can't control the world. It's just, I'm constantly navigating. I'm a thinker, innit?
So am I.
Yeah, I guess everyone in here is, innit? So
no.
I reckon he's a thinker, the cameraman. Like,
it depends. No, he's not.
He's not.
I but you know what? Thinker, sorry, Teague, I know. But it depends. Like there's levels to thinking. I think, bro, honestly, because I end up going down these rabbit holes and stuff like that, and I sometimes ask myself questions like, what is life about? Like what is life?
You know about? What? Life is actually what you make it for real. Like you've actually got so much control. What you can think about, what you can focus on. Is in the past where I focused on darkness, and then there's other parts where I focused on the light. And if we bring it back to the music, I feel like by the time I got to the holidays and all that, that was some of the lightest part of my life, bro. It brought so much light and so much. And some people don't understand what it took for me to get to that. I was in a dark place when I made Boy in the Corner and all that kind of, like, it took me a minute to get to that, because I've been through like a lot. Some of these kids, for example, people think like you just go through, like, say like a stabbing or whatever, like and that's it. Or guys just go jail or get shot or shoot someone or whatever, go for all this stuff and like that's it.
Yeah, no, that's trauma.
Guys are living, whether you're on the receiving end or you're dishing it out, like this, and just everything surrounding it. Like, it's a lot. Like,
that's where I thought your separation came from, if I'm being honest. I feel like your separation came from trauma more than just it being, this one chats too much, these lot chat.
No, it was definitely a lot of that. Trust me, because that scene, trust me, man, that's why half the people always fall in, you're always hearing about stuff, innit? But the separation, it would have come from partly that. But you have to remember as well that how violent a lot of those raves were back then. Like, someone was killed in True the Rose, I was stabbed the next week.
Yeah, I was there.
I was there. So what did my week look like?
Yeah, I hear that,
Yeah, when you put it in that perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was wild those times.
And that almost becomes some type of normality.
It was.
Yeah.
And then you have to put the other side, people, you'll be doing raves, someone will get killed at the rave, and the police are at your house. Like, what's it got to do with me? My name used to get dragged into a lot of back in the day. Wherever we used to go down, my name would end up in it a lot of the times. And a lot of times it had nothing to do with me. So there is that element as well. So some of the separation, like, is that as well. It's like, kind of, okay, let me just do these festivals, I guess, and then my own shows. That's because it went from doing these certain raves to doing my own shows, and even little random stuff like I toured with Sean Paul when he first come here, shit like that. I opened up for Jay-Z, like Nas, Justin Timberlake, what's it called, Pharrell, NERD. I was doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's where a lot of the separation comes. I understand what you're saying about the trauma as well, and then not being sure about people and all that. But some of them same people, some of them I was still around them a bit. Just the timing of when my thing popped off was so close to that, and it's gonna look like that if you've never been able to sit down and even talk to me about that. You know what I mean? That's a whole documentary on a movie itself.
We're doing this again.
Yo, let's do it, man. You know what I mean?
JD in the Duffle Bag podcast. I finally got to sit down and talk with Dizzee. I'm honestly, I feel like I was just starting to kick in. You get me? But JD, love for this as well. I appreciate it. Dizzee, thanks for coming through, bro, and and being open and honest and whatnot, man. Yes, honestly, regardless of, I don't even want to say regardless, because I feel like that puts like some type of taint on it. I don't think that there is a taint on what it is that you do, bro. I think, like, I honestly, I see you as there's a few of you, like you, D Double, all of these guys, like I see you guys, you lot have been so important for so many different reasons, and I thank you for that. And
I see them as that too, for the record.
Yeah. Oh, D Double, listen, brother, like, I know D Double. We're not friends like that. But when I tell you we're cool, when like I see this brother, I've seen him so many times. Even when D Double comes and like he sits next to a man, yeah, and we're just like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. In my head, I'm like, D Double, you know, I can't even. He probably just. I'm just cool. We just chat normal, boom, 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 boom. In my heart and soul, I'm like,
it's Double. I feel the same.
It's crazy. But listen, we gotta go. JD and the Duffle Bag podcast, Dizzee Rascal, Chuckie Online, yeah.